Oh, it was in Vegas that I actually did my first commercial and my first movie. My first place that I paid for after college in Las Vegas. You know how much I paid for rent? $350 a month
In Vegas?
in Las Vegas.
Was it horrible? Were you by the stratosphere?
I was by the stratosphere, but it was like
Welcome to Ordinary Joe's Extraordinary Stories, a podcast that shines a light on ordinary people and their extraordinary stories. From small towns to big cities, we're sharing the real, raw, and inspiring moments that connect us all. Because every voice matters, every story counts. This is Ordinary Joe's Extraordinary Stories. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Ordinary Joe's Extraordinary Stories. I'm your host, James Graves Brown. Today is going to be a unique episode. This is another special guest, but today's guest, he and I don't really know each other very well. This is going to be a unique one because you and I never really have had a conversation.
right, yeah.
So yeah, we went to school together, and I would say that my experience knowing you was seeing you on stage. Because of course, you know, anytime there was a show or something, I was definitely getting out of class to go see that. But I recognize you through different friend groups, but you and I never actually were formally introduced, nor did we have a conversation. Am I familiar at all to you?
So at first, no. Honestly, when you first reached out, I was, you have a common name, right?
That I do.
So, but
Oh,
I
look
had
at
to,
you.
I had to go and look you up in the yearbook, and let's see, I found you. And when I saw your photo, I knew exactly who you were. And in person right now, I know exactly who you are. I remember you, but I remember you as this guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you can clip that in. But
Yep.
there's his senior photo right there.
That's wild that you have that and brought that.
Yeah.
I have the same one. So let me tell you, the way this episode came about, everybody, was that I was recently watching a show, and I was just not really paying the most attention to the show, but I happened to look at the screen during one scene, and I was like, I fucking know that guy. I went to school with that guy. This is wild. And like, you had a speaking role and everything. And I was like, this is too crazy. So then I was like, and I instantly knew your name was Joe. I didn't remember your last name. What is your last name?
It's Gallegos.
Gallegos. Yeah. Okay. I almost said Gonzalez, and I knew that wasn't right. So
I get that a lot. Joe Gonzalez. It's okay.
So I played in the mariachi group and had a Joe Gonzalez in the group.
There's always a Joe Gonzalez.
That's wild. Okay, so yeah, I saw that scene and I was like, I know this guy. That's Joe. And then I came home and looked you up in the yearbook, and I was like, I was fucking right. That's him. So then that's when I reached out to see if you wanted to do this, which is really cool, by the way. Thank you again for being here.
Absolutely. I mean, my name's Joe. This is the Ordinary Joe's, podcast.
This is made for you.
Yeah.
So, tell me about your high school experience. Because, okay, first of all, did you grow up in Santa Fe? Are you a transplant or?
No, grew up, born and raised in Santa Fe.
Okay, I figured, with the last name Gallegos, you
Yeah.
got to be around there somewhere. So,
Yeah.
okay, now tell me your high school experience. I kind of want to figure out where our friends groups crossed. Who was like your little clique? I know you were with the drama people, right? Obviously.
Yeah.
Was that your main friend group?
Yeah, I would say the drama kids were my, main clique, but also the band kids
Band kids
as well, because there was a lot of overlap.
Yes, there's definitely an overlap with me too, because I was in the guitar class, and so I had a lot of band friends. So
Yeah.
that's really cool. Okay, cool. Now tell me, how was high school for you? Did you love it? Did you hate it?
Oh man, I loved high school.
So did I.
When I hear people telling their high school experiences and it's depressing or they didn't like it, they didn't enjoy it, man, that's such a bummer because
It really is.
honestly, I loved high school. I even loved high school more than college. High school was definitely probably the greatest time of my life. I freaking loved high school.
Same. So I would say that, like, coming from, I went to DeVargas Junior High.
Me too.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Wait, did you graduate with my class? Are we in the same class? 2000?
You're a year older.
Okay, yeah. So I'm an old man. Okay, so You graduated '01, so that means when I was in 8th grade, you were in 7th grade
Yeah,
in junior high?
yeah,
Crazy. That's
yeah.
wild. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to go check my DeVargas yearbook now
Right.
too.
It's not even DeVargas anymore. It's something else now, right? That school
Yeah,
doesn't exist.
Milagro. Yeah, I
Milagro,
just
yeah.
saw that the other day and I was like, what in the world? That's so sad.
Yeah.
So sad. I mean, it's a nice school now,
Yeah.
but like all that history is gone. That's
Right.
wild. So yeah, I absolutely loved high school also. And then coming from DeVargas, the majority of my friends went to Santa Fe High. And I was supposed to go to Santa Fe High. But my mom didn't like, she was very religious at the time, did not like that their mascot was the demon. So she
Mm,
rezoned me for Capital
makes sense.
specifically to avoid that.
Yeah. Well, on that topic, happy Rapture Day, everyone. If you're seeing this, sorry about it.
Is that what? Wait, tell me about that. What is that?
Oh, you don't know? It's Rapture Day.
Dude, I am not religious in any context.
It's a whole social media craze right now where several people online were predicting that the rapture is happening today or tomorrow.
Oh,
And
today or tomorrow?
today or tomorrow.
Oh, so we might have some time.
We might have some time, so I mean, you might be lucky. We got a day. You know, they always give a little wiggle room. It was like,
Of course.
22nd, 23rd, 24th, somewhere around there.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a whole
Interesting.
thing right now.
That's why. But okay, to be fair, let's take it back to, I don't know, as far back as the '80s maybe, where every year was the year the world was going to end,
Oh
and
yeah.
it's been happening. 2001 was supposed to be one. 2000 was supposed to be one. 99 was supposed to be
Oh
one.
yeah. I
So
remember going to church, an evangelical church, and Bill Clinton was supposedly the Antichrist, and yeah. I mean,
that's
and
wild.
there's some trauma associated with that.
100%,
Yeah.
100%. I agree. Okay, so I'll just come out and say that I am far removed from any kind of religion anymore. I kind of left that in my past, and I think because of the trauma associated with it and the I don't know, I don't want to say I lost a lot of my childhood, but I missed a lot of my childhood sitting in the pews of a church
Yeah.
doing something that I was not at all interested in. It was very forceful in the way that it was taught, and we were Pentecostal, so it wasn't like the
Same.
most really interesting. Yeah, so it wasn't like the most like forceful thing, but it was just absolutely something I wasn't into. It was very uncomfortable for me, and the fact that we had to be there 3 to 5 days a week just bothered the hell out of me.
Yeah.
And so coming into adulthood, I kind of just I would say I went agnostic, and then from there, kind of just was like, this is all a joke. Like this
Mhm.
is not. And then that's my personal like to each their own. If religion works for you, that's great. If it's a good outlet for you or whatever, like I appreciate that. But for myself, it wasn't doing anything but harm. So
Yeah.
I kind of faded away from that. But
Yeah. I understand. My relationship with my faith has been very complex, and it's developed over time. I would say I have not pushed it away. In fact, I've made it very much a big part of who I am in terms of what my interests are, what I spend my
okay,
time doing.
okay,
And I, as a young person, really embraced my faith. I mean,
okay.
I remember in DeVargas, I used to carry around a Bible, and people would call me Bible Joe.
Really,
And yeah,
that's wild.
was very involved in my church youth group, and I even in college was part of different faith groups,
Sure,
and also having been a history major, and in
that's
general
freaking cool. Now you're speaking my language.
throughout my life have just been a student of history. I have made biblical history, uh, ancient history, a huge part of my studies,
Okay.
and so I'm constantly and vociferously
Wow, that is a big word.
engaging in all sorts of theological, historical studies,
See,
topics.
from that aspect, I can totally get on board.
I love it.
I think that's amazing. That interests me. That fascinates me.
Yeah,
But from the,
theological perspective.
yeah, from, like the, hey, this is what you have to do and this is how
Yes.
you have to live, that kind of thing just and I don't have any problem with authority. I never have. I just don't like that it's Um, okay, let me compare it to high school. I hated homework.
Hmm.
I was incredibly good, and I could have gotten really, really good grades if I did homework, but I so strongly believed that the time away from school was my time and not theirs. That's why I went to school, that I refused to do homework, which kind of almost put me into a situation where I had to graduate a year late because of it.
Yeah. Well, you didn't need to do homework. You didn't have to worry about it. I mean, the rapture was going to happen anyway. So, like,
That's
what's the point?
that's a good freaking point.
Yeah.
Now, that's really crazy that you talk about the historical side of it because uh, as of as of now, thanks to my wife, I've actually been doing world travel recently,
Mm,
and
I saw that. You were just in Greece.
yes, and prior to that, we went to Egypt in 2023.
Nice.
Now, on both of those trips, we crossed biblical lines because we went to a cave in Egypt where apparently Mary, Joseph, and Jesus hid out for a
Mm.
month
Hmm.
while they were running from something. Sorry, I'm really bad about that. And then in Greece, we went to the where apparently after all the biblical stuff, where Mary like retired and lived her days out and passed away. So this house that she lived
Wow.
in Turkey, it was amazing.
Yeah.
So like yeah, I can totally get on board from the historical aspect of it.
Well, being an actor now, that's really what I love about, biblical history or just religious studies in general. The stories, there's
Yes.
stories.
Yes.
And,
I'm
I
on
love
board with
that.
that.
And as an actor, I love what I do because it's about telling stories. So
100%.
there's a lot of overlap.
That's really cool. Okay. So I got us way off topic.
That's okay.
I was I really want to know what high school in general was like for you. I know you said you loved it,
Yeah.
and I as well loved it. Well, that's where I threw us off because junior high didn't have a great experience. I mean, I did, I guess, in the aspect of friendship, I had a lot of good
Mm.
people I met in junior high,
Hmm.
and I had a lot of fun adventures. School was very difficult for me though, like as far as the learning and attendance and stuff. I don't know why I'd never got into drugs. I wasn't a weed head or anything at that point. I mean that came later, but for some reason junior high was just rough for me.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went to high school and it was like an escape from the whole rest of the world
Hmm.
into this world that I actually was a part of and loved being a part
Mm.
of. Had all my friends there, I had new people to me. It was just like that was my escape from reality. And I actually did love it. And now my wife, she and I have conversations and she absolutely hated high school. It was like the worst time of
Oh,
her life. And I'm like, why?
that
But,
sucks.
she has her reasons, mostly the school she went to and the kids who were in that school. And I kind of see what she was going through. But so what made it so good for you?
Gosh. Going back to junior high too, I actually had a really good junior high experience, mostly. But in junior high, you're trying to figure out who you are.
Sure.
There was a lot of that, man. There was going through basically identity crisis in junior high, right? I remember.
Absolutely.
So that was the hard part of junior high. But I forged my best friends in junior high that are still
Cool.
my best friends today, which is cool. And I also was in the same situation where all my friends went to Santa Fe High,
Oh,
and
really?
we went to Capital. So
Okay.
I, had to make new friends.
Right.
But high school is great because, I was in the drama program and I was also very active in all sorts of other things. So I just had a very busy social life. That was a lot
Awesome.
of fun. And, I had great friends. And my parents were really cool. They, gave me a lot of freedom and trust. And so I felt like I gained a lot of independence. And I started traveling in high school too.
So jealous.
I started to, see the world, which was also caused conflict at home because, I'd be at odds with these ideas that I was experiencing
Uh,
by living and experiencing the world versus like what my parents, thought or wanted me to think. But
Speak more on that. What do you mean?
so just in terms of um, you know, I guess when you experience other people, cultures, religions, you just become more open to other ideas.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
And gaining independence and thinking for yourself, you sort of, become at odds with some of the ideas that maybe your family has, or that your church has, or that that just basic ideas about how life should work, how your life should work, how or go, or
I understand
you
what you're
know.
saying, especially growing up in New Mexico.
Yes.
Now, from the Hispanic side of it, everything is about family. You
Hmm.
don't leave your family. You don't do, it's like generational trauma. You keep everything the same. You do
Hmm.
what your parents did to you, to your kids, and that's life.
Yeah.
My wife is a shining example of that, and I'll say even my mom, we're not Hispanic at all. I mean, somewhere along my bloodlines, there's a little bit, but my mom's basically white, and I'm, a product of my mom. So, but even her, she came up with this ideology, and I think it came from living in New Mexico that kids don't leave their parents. You don't move out and move away. You stay in the same city, and you help your parents, and they help you, and that's the way it is. And no, like I wanted independence too, so I
Yeah.
I I totally understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, there is a similar culture. Even if you're not Hispanic, I think in New Mexico we just have this shared, you know, culture
You're right.
that
You're absolutely right.
that embraces, everyone.
And it's very unique to New
Oh
Mexico.
yeah,
I would say this doesn't exist many other places. I'm not going to say anywhere else, but it's not common.
no,
It's definitely not like you think about maybe somewhere on the East Coast, Georgia, New York, any of those places, and the parents are like, "Hey, you're fucking 18 now. Get out of my house. Go
yeah,
go get a job. Like, what are you
yeah,
doing here?
yeah,
I can't afford you no more."
right.
Okay, so you started traveling in high school. That's really cool. Where did your travels take you?
It prompted me to go to summer camp in New York. So
So
freshman,
awesome.
yeah, summer after freshman year, I went to summer camp for a whole 2 months in upstate New York,
God, that's cool.
and in between that was traveling New York City by myself at like what was I 14? It
How
was
in,
like
wow.
I don't know. I don't know
That is so
how I did
impressive.
that or how my parents even allowed me to, but I did.
Wow.
And then from there, got a travel bug and then started traveling a little bit more. Started traveling on Amtrak to different states
God, that's
en
cool.
route to these other places. So got to experience, other major cities like Chicago and I don't know, random other places along the way. And then eventually when I was 16, I went to summer camp in Japan, which was awesome.
Oh my
So I got
gosh.
to explore Tokyo and a bunch of other places in Japan by myself. I was
God,
like
that's cool. Okay, so
16 running around Japan by myself.
not to derail this, but while we're on that topic, I need you to give me some pointers. The wife and I are actually planning a trip to Japan right now. We're probably going to go in November.
Oh, awesome.
What do I need to know?
Oh gosh. You need to know. You should get really good at squatting. Practice squatting. All the toilets are in the ground, which is something to get used to.
Interesting.
I loved Japan. Japan's really cool. The Japanese people are so great.
What was your favorite place?
Mount Fuji,
Oh, okay.
probably. Definitely visit Mount Fuji. Take the bullet train. The countryside's beautiful,
Okay.
and yeah, do Mount Fuji. That's what I
Okay.
definitely recommend.
All right. So I'm sorry. Back on track. You're
Yes.
16. You explored Japan by yourself.
Yeah, and getting to experience more of a larger world. At first, I was thinking college UNM. Staying local to college
Sure.
here, and being evangelical, I was looking at like some Christian colleges and stuff.
Sure.
And then I had the whole Northeast. A lot of really good schools in the East. And I was a good student. I was a salutatorian, and Yvette DeVargas was at the top of my class in terms of grades and stuff like that. And I should have been valedictorian,
But
but I tested out of health class instead of taking it. So I was like point something something credit
you've got
short.
to be kidding me.
No. So had I taken health class instead of not taking a class, I
Wow.
would have also been valedictorian.
Man, we could have a whole conversation about how shitty
Yeah.
school is structured and the things that they teach us versus what we should be learning. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a whole nother thing.
Oh, that's a whole other thing. Education and reforming education is another topic that I really love to talk about,
Absolutely.
especially because I was a beneficiary of the current education system. I'm going off topic here. We'll talk about it some other time.
Okay.
But yeah. So I what was yeah,
Uh,
we're talking about school graduation.
oh, health class. You
Oh, health
should have been
class.
valedictorian.
Yeah, that was also another tangent I went on. But so the Northeast, yes. So getting to experience all
Oh,
these
yes, yes,
other
yes.
places, it really opened up kind of the world to me and where I wanted to go. And I thought, well, you know what? I'm now, as I'm graduating, I'm used to going exploring and being independent, and
That is so cool,
I'm not
man.
afraid to do it. Right. So then I learned more about other schools. I had a bunch of East Coast schools that I really wanted to go to, and I had my dream school, which was Amherst College. Applied, got in, and that's where I ended up in Massachusetts for college.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's not to disparage UNM. It's a good
No,
school.
no, no.
But did it just not have what you were looking for in terms of education, or was it just you wanted to see more stuff?
Yeah. Well, I wanted to see more stuff. I wanted to experience, more of the world,
That's great.
push boundaries, do something different.
That's so cool.
And
That's very admirable.
so, yeah, I ended up going to my dream school.
Now, I assume that these trips that you took were funded by your parents.
Hmm.
You didn't have a job or anything back then. It was just
Um,
how did you even convince them to allow you to do this?
it was not easy. It was really not easy. And it took conversations with, um, I had a mentor, I guess you could say, for all this.
Okay.
William Doobie, he was, he's like 90 something
Oh,
now. And
wow.
he, I consider him like a mentor in high school for sure. He introduced me to this camp that I went to, and then subsequent other things that I did in my life. And he, my parents, him getting to know my parents, and him, comforting them and letting them know that I'd be all
That's
right and all
cool.
that. So it took a little coaxing of my parents to allow me to do these things, but because my parents, I mean, they wouldn't even allow me to sleep over friends' houses. When I was a kid, that's
You're preaching to the choir. My mom was very much that. If I wanted to hang out with friends, they had to come to my house. If I wanted to have a sleepover, it was at my house. And we were not well off. We were very, very poor. So it was not something that I was like, yeah, let's have everybody over all the time. No.
yeah,
I wanted to go to people's houses and see what the other side lived like.
yeah,
And my mom was just very, I don't know, I hate to use the word overbearing, but I can't describe
it's
it any
okay.
other way.
Yeah,
She was very, very much
yeah,
overprotective and
yeah,
overbearing.
yeah,
So
yeah. My mom was a bit too. She's chilled out so much since then. Though, like if she's saying this, like she's so cool. I love my mom. Like we butted heads a lot in high school because of a lot of the things that I just talked about.
sure,
But gosh, she's like my favorite person now. I love my mom.
that's great.
We have such a good relationship now. So, uh,
Tell me about college. Tell me about Amherst.
yeah, Amherst was great. It's
Amherst, I'm sorry.
oh no, it's okay. The H is silent.
Okay.
Uh,
Silent letters.
Silent letters, silly English language. Amherst was great. It was a culture shock, of course, going to the Northeast, and in New Mexico, we were the only minority majority state until Texas recently. And so when you get thrown into this environment where you're, a minority, you sort of realize it in the larger context of the world. And it was the first time I ever really felt like a minority, which was interesting. But it wasn't bad because there were a lot of other people in the same boat, and it was a really welcoming place and all of
That's
that.
great.
So, but I was going to school. I was very working class. I had lots of scholarships to go. I mean, it's really expensive school. But I was going to school with like senators' children and dignitary. I mean,
Jeez.
it's an elite. I mean, it was the number one college at the time in the U.S. Number one ranked college, and
Is
it
that
often is
Ivy
number one or
League?
two.
Is that an Ivy League
It's a little
school?
Ivy.
Okay.
So there's like the university Ivies, and then there's the smaller colleges that are not universities.
Okay.
So there's like a distinction.
Okay.
And then there's the little Ivies, which are these like elite private northeast schools,
Damn,
mostly
that's
northeast.
wild.
So yeah, it was an amazing opportunity to go there. I loved it. I started as a theater and dance major actually,
Okay.
and found that the program they had wasn't for me
Was it
because
not a good program, or was it just not what you expected?
it was different than what I expected.
Okay.
Because coming from the training I had when I was at Capitol, And even when I was younger, the theater training that I had was very musical theater based. It was very entertainment based. The
Sure.
dance I was in a jazz company, so like jazz dance, ballet tap. The program at Amherst was a little bit more experimental,
Hmm.
a little bit more modern, and it just wasn't for me.
Okay.
But that was okay because it
Was it like improv experimental or just
some of it. I
like
mean,
avant-garde?
very avant garde.
Okay.
Freshman year, my my advisor did a show there. And I remember going to see the show with my friend. My friend turns to me during the show and he's like, "This is the worst thing I've ever seen." And so it wasn't for me.
Okay.
It wasn't for me.
Great.
I still took classes there, and the really cool thing about Amherst is that there's 5 colleges in the area, and you can actually take classes at all 5 schools:
Oh, cool.
Smith, Mount Holyoke, Hampshire, and University of Massachusetts.
Wow.
So Amherst is like 1,600 students, so it's real small. But then the University of Massachusetts is like 30,000 people or something. So,
Holy crap.
I mean, it's a huge college town. So I was able to do more performances at some of the other schools, and also, well, I was able to do performances at Amherst too, with student groups. Usually, that was more my vibe. But then also participate in all the other school performances and
Okay.
programs and classes. So that was that. And then I decided I didn't really need to get a degree in theater and dance because I had so many other interests. Because I did have a big academic background as well, in terms of enjoying studying other topics. And I always loved history, so I decided to become a history major, with an emphasis on possibly doing pre-law,
Damn.
because I wasn't sure if I
Wow.
wanted to be a performer. Like,
You were
I
ambitious
wasn't
as
sure.
hell as a kid.
Well, it was more like being cautious. It was like,
What call it whatever you want. It was incredible.
because growing up in Santa Fe, New Mexico, being a working class Hispanic kid, you're like,
Yeah.
am I gonna be like an
Do I want to
actor?
dig ditches?
You know, like, am I really gonna make a career out of this? Is that something I can do? Is that realistic for somebody who looks like me? Is from a background who isn't
It's really wild because when I've thought of that being a career possibility in terms of is it possible, it was never about skin color or looks. It was looks never like, and I get that that's the sad reality is that's where the casting comes from. But in my head, I never associated looks with acting chops. It was never the same thing, which is wild.
Yeah.
But you already knew that, like you had some sixth sense as a kid. That's wild.
Yeah. Luckily for me, my perspective wasn't so much that it was unattainable because of necessarily who I am, or rather what I looked like,
Uh-huh.
but more of it just seemed like I didn't know anybody who was in the industry. I didn't know anybody who was a professional on Broadway or in the film industry. I didn't know anybody who was, you know, like a working class person who was successfully, all you see are these rich celebrities, millionaires, billionaires, and a lot of them, even then there was that whole concept of like nepotism, or whatever, and still was there, and you see like these children of actors.
Yep. Yep.
So it just seemed a little bit unattainable,
Okay.
and so the degree in history and the pre-law was like kind of a backup, just in case.
Very smart.
But also just I was really interested in it, and so
God, that's crazy.
I know I performed a ton at Amherst, just like I did in high school, and had a really great experience. I say high school was a lot more fun. I said that earlier because college was so much work. Like, I worked my ass off in college.
Okay.
If I wasn't performing, I was just writing, 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 writing. That's all I did in college, was write papers, write papers, write papers. And it's great because I consider myself a great writer now, and that was the
Awesome.
training for that. It was training for making arguments.
That's
You
awesome.
hear people saying these ridiculous things these days, like colleges are for indoctrination or blah 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 blah. I was never taught what to think in college. I was always taught to defend myself, prove your point.
Sure.
And so that I've never had a professor ever in my entire life tell me what to think.
That's great.
I've always been asked to defend my positions, and that's what I've been judged on. So that was great experience in terms of learning how to defend your opinions, how to formulate your own opinions, how to write.
That's incredible.
But it was a lot of work, so I didn't really have as much fun in college as I did in high school. Although college was a lot of fun, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
But
But you're doing work, so yeah, that's
work.
understandable.
Yeah. So from there, after I graduated, it was like, well, do I start applying to law school? Do I take the LSAT? I started studying for the LSAT. Then I just thought, I got to do it. I got to try this performing thing, man.
That's so awesome.
So I was debating what to do because I knew at the time I thought Broadway was the ultimate goal, right?
Oh wow.
But coming out of college, I didn't have money to move to New York City.
So your goal was not immediately, hey, I want to be a celeb. I want to be on the big screen. I want to do.
No,
You were Broadway bound.
I wasn't even thinking about film.
Wow.
Film was not a career that I was even thinking about. I was
That's
thinking about
wild.
theater since I came from the theater.
That's so cool.
So I had a really good friend went to Capitol, who was also a fellow performer, and he started work. He was 2 grades ahead of me, so 1 grade ahead of you.
Who was it?
His name was Victor Stacy.
Okay.
Shout out, Victor. And he was a performer as well at Capitol, and he started working on cruise ships
Oh,
as a
cool.
performer.
Very cool.
And he was a really good friend of mine. So I thought, well, maybe that's something I can look into right out of college because I wasn't ready to move to New York. I didn't have any money to move to New York.
Sure.
Super expensive, and
Yeah.
I had already experienced the East Coast quite a bit. Spent a lot of time in New York. I'd go down, on weekends to see my friends at NYU or wherever. So I spent a lot of time there. I love New York City. It's still my favorite city on the planet.
Cool.
But
I'm yet to go.
oh, you have yet to go. So great. I'll give you some pointers on what to do.
Please.
It's such a great city.
Real quick before we keep going. In high school, did you take Miss Harris's class for history? Was she one of your history teachers?
Miss Harris.
Old lady, drove a Jeep,
Miss Harris. Miss Harris.
real short hair, kind of flew off the handle. You would know if you
Yes.
had Miss Harris.
Yes. I feel like I did.
And she would always put on movies of her travels, like home videos with her and her
Yeah.
husband traveling to all these countries.
That sounds familiar.
Okay, well,
Miss
listen, she
Harris.
was a great teacher. I just want to put out there, but I didn't pay a fucking lick of attention, and I wish I did because she had so much valuable knowledge
Yeah.
about traveling and about the world and everything. But I don't know, history bored the shit out of me until I got out of school, and then I was like, wow, this is amazing, and that tends to be a thing with me. I had no interest in airplanes, and just because you don't know me, I'm going to tell you, and I've talked about it 100 times, but I had no interest in airplanes coming up. That was not a thing I gave a shit about. One day, my mom called me out of the blue, and she's like, I had already tried the Santa Fe Community College and decided I wasn't going to go to college. I wasn't. I had no attention span for school anymore. So she calls me one day out of the blue and is like, hey, I got this DVD I ordered. I want you to look at it. So I went and watched it, and it was for an aviation college in Oklahoma. And I was like, oh, yeah, yeah, that looks cool. I didn't think anything of it. I already had this, I don't want to call it career, but a pretty well established job. I'd worked for DHL and Airborne Express delivering packages for years, and it suited me really well. And so I watched that and told her, yeah, it looks cool, whatever. Well, she called me like a couple days later and was like, okay, well, I enrolled you. You start in 2 weeks. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I have a job. What do you mean I start in 2 weeks?
Whoa.
Yeah. So I was like, well, I guess I'm going with it. So I put in my 2 weeks at work. I packed up all my shit and went to college in Oklahoma. It was not at all anything that I gave a shit about. Fast forward to 2018, my wife and I went on a vacation to Universal in Florida, and on our way back, we had what's called a high-speed rejected takeoff on the runway, where the plane got up to speed where it was about to take off, and they just slammed on the brakes. The captain saw something on an error message that he wasn't comfortable taking off with, and we went back to the gate. Well, long story short, that just my wife says that when they slammed the brakes that my brain hit the front of my head and that it screwed me up, but I had to know everything that there was to know about airplanes from that point on, and I became this really really big av geek, and I just love commercial airliners now and everything about them, which is really bizarre, but like, so that's what I'm saying. I have this trend of like not giving a shit about something, and then later on in life I'm like, oh, I have to know everything there is to know about it, and history is one of those things. So yeah, very sadly, I missed out in high school on this wealth of knowledge, and Miss Harris was already old, so I'm almost certain she's not around anymore, which is sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, I'm sorry. You
No,
were
that's okay.
we were in New York.
That's very cool though. I love how you like could name the type of, situation that happened with the plane as where the common person would just be like, "Oh, they pushed their brakes too hard," or
Don't
that's
get me
pretty fun.
started.
I love that. But yeah, uh, also at Capitol, I think my love of history really grew with some teachers that I had. I had a pair of, oh gosh, I'm not remembering their names.
I didn't have any pairs, so I couldn't help you there.
Well, they were like intern teachers.
Sure. I had that at DeVargas with science teachers, Han and Pope.
Oh yeah, yeah. I had Pope.
Did you really?
I had Pope. Yeah,
Very interesting.
yeah, and he was a great science teacher too.
He was.
Oh my
He
gosh,
was cool as
he
heck.
he did a whole. Oh my gosh, I remember everything he taught me was being taught in chemistry class. And I remember Mr. Beckman. Did you ever have Mr. Beckman for
I
chemistry?
didn't.
And like I would always answer questions, and I knew everything in class. And he's like, one day he's like, finally like, "How do you know all this already?" And I'm like, well, I had a freaking amazing junior high teacher.
He was cool. He was very, very cool.
But yeah. So I had this pair of interns that were really excited about teaching, and they brought history to life. Man, it was amazing. I had a great time with them, and in high school they taught me so much, and it really grew my love of history. They were just so good at teaching it, making it interactive, and telling these the male teacher. There was a male. It was a male and female pair.
Mm-hmm.
He knew everything. You would ask him like, what shirt was Abraham Lincoln wearing the day he was assassinated? He would tell you.
No
I
kidding.
mean, he just had this incredible wealth of knowledge, and it was really impressive. And yeah, the great thing what they were able to do is what I think all history teachers should do is apply what happened then and how it leads to now, and show the evolution of how one action in history affected modern day things. Anyway, amazing, blew my mind, and from then on, I was just like, I love history.
That's cool.
Love this topic. So
That's really cool.
that really was instrumental in getting me on my track.
You were talking about wanting to go Broadway versus.
Yeah, speaking of track, getting back on track. So I decided, well, let me take some time to, I don't know, go back home maybe, spend some time at home,
Oh,
or
that was the question I was going to ask.
figure out something. So I eventually, after college, I drove back home, and it was a fun road trip, by the way, really fun road trip, and started looking at places, smaller markets to do theater before New York, maybe to save money. So I thought, well, let's look around. So I was looking at like Seattle, Phoenix, where else did I look? Los Angeles, Las Vegas. So then my buddy that I told you, Victor, who
Yes.
was in cruise ships, he was living in Las Vegas. So I was like, I got a friend there. He
Wait. He was working on cruise
well,
ships, but
he had stopped his cruise ship work
Okay,
and
okay.
moved to Vegas after.
All right.
And was working in Vegas as a performer. So I was like, oh, I have a friend there.
damn, that's cool.
So I ended up moving to Las Vegas, Nevada, and started working as a performer in Vegas. So I was doing shows in Vegas, and
No kidding. What did you do?
I did a show at the performances at the time it was the Las Vegas Hilton, I believe. Yeah, Las Vegas Hilton, and then just doing any like local gigs.
Was it like acrobatic or more theater
Dance.
centric?
It was more.
Dance?
It was
Okay.
dance. I was a dancer, and so I started performing in Vegas, and it was incredible. Being 21, living or 21,
Oh,
22,
God.
living in Las Vegas was
That
like
sounds dangerous.
it was probably the best time of my life. I'm not even gonna lie. I said high school was the best time of my life overall, like a span, but like that time in Vegas was just dang. It was so much fun.
If you don't know how to have fun in Vegas, there's something wrong with you.
Oh man, and Vegas has changed so much since then.
Oh God, tell me about it.
Oh,
We went last year for our anniversary, and it was just not the same. It was
Nope.
like it was not the Vegas that we were used to, and we had gone several times before and just had a blast. But this time it was just like, what we did for our anniversary in Vegas?
What's that?
We went to a bunch of escape rooms.
yeah.
That was what we did. We spent
Yeah.
our whole 3 or 4 days there just going to all kinds of escape rooms, and it was fun. Don't get me wrong, and I still love Vegas, but it is not at all the
Yeah.
same.
Agreed. I'm hearing something. Is that me?
I'm sorry, that was me.
Oh.
My glasses.
Your glasses are talking to you?
Yeah,
Fancy.
it was notifying me there. I was getting messages.
Wow. We are living in the future. Wow. That's wild. But yes, so lived in Vegas, and then started on. Oh, it was in Vegas that I actually did my first commercial and my first movie. And
Real quick, I
yeah,
did see, and I try not to ever like study my guests. I want everything to be fresh. So like when we have this conversation, I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'm surprised and not already know things about you. I happened to stumble across one of your reels. I think it was on your Facebook or something. And I'm not gonna pass that up. I sat there and watched it. It was pretty fucking impressive,
oh,
dude. There's
thanks,
a
man.
lot on there. So I'm
Thanks.
sorry. Please proceed.
Yeah, so I appreciate that. But yeah, so in Las Vegas was the first time I experienced working in film, something I'd never done before, didn't even think about. And it's something I did just because in Vegas you can work lots of local gigs or do stuff. And
How did that come about?
there were a couple of sites that performers use back then. It was I think called vegasauditions.com.
Oh, okay.
So you just look at casting calls and go to
Cool.
them,
All right.
or maybe even Craigslist. It was probably also
Wow.
Craigslist was also used quite a bit to post jobs. So experienced film for the first time and didn't really think anything of it because then I thought, well, I want to save more money. Although my first place that I paid for after college in Las Vegas, you know how much I paid for rent? $350 a month
In Vegas?
in Las Vegas.
Was it horrible? Were you by the stratosphere?
I was by the stratosphere, but it was like far enough removed that it wasn't in the dodgy area,
Okay.
but
Okay.
it was kind of there. It was Cashman and shoot, I'm forgetting.
So you were between the stratosphere and Old Vegas.
Well, it was west of that.
West. Okay. Okay.
So yeah, just like west of the stratosphere, but
Okay.
real easy for me to get to work on the strip, and yeah, so I auditioned for cruise ships because I thought, well, my friend told me it was a lot of fun, and they were going. Him and his girlfriend were going back on cruise ships.
Well, on that note, Virgin was the best cruise I mean, I've only ever been on one cruise, but oh my God, it was over the top amazing. Just the best experience ever. So if that ever crosses your mind again, go with Virgin. They're amazing.
I've never worked on Virgin, but I can imagine because
It
they
was
have a
so fun.
reputation for being fun.
Well, yeah, and no kids
Yeah,
and no tipping and it's just stress free,
yeah,
great times.
yeah,
So
yeah. So I've worked on cruise ships now for, gosh, I worked on cruise ships from like 2000 on and off from 2006 to 2020,
holy cow.
something like that. So at first I was doing full on contracts, but then later on it was just a fly on act that I did with a hypnotist.
Wow.
But in Vegas, I auditioned for cruise ships and got a contract, so I just started to try it out. So I started
What
working on
cruise
cruise.
were you with?
I started with Carnival.
Okay.
Yeah. So I worked on Carnival cruises and traveled a little bit doing that and saving money. It was a great way to save money. You have zero expenses.
God, that's cool.
Zero expenses. So you just save money. And I did that for a bit, and then after I kind of got worn out with doing the cruise ship life, man, it's a commitment. You miss a lot of things in life. Like you can't just fly home.
Right.
If I missed a lot of funerals and family events and things like that.
Oh, I believe it coming from Santa Fe.
Yeah. So
Talked about that a lot too.
that was hard. That was hard.
I bet.
So I kind of wanted to go back on land, and was like, okay, time to go to New York, right? Time to move
Nice.
to New York.
Nice.
So I came home to get my stuff together in New Mexico, and
I love how you sporadically make these decisions. You're like, okay, it's time. It's time. I'm
yep,
going to New York.
time to go to New York. All right, got
Damn.
my money saved. It's time to go to New York because that was the goal.
That's cool.
I'm gonna be on Broadway. Well, when I came to New Mexico, there was this like burgeoning film industry.
Yep.
I was like, what is happening in New Mexico? Breaking Bad had just started. There was a movie with Jessica Alba. There was a ton of production.
I was in that movie.
Really?
Yeah.
In the Eye?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I was in a later movie, I guess.
She's been in a few.
Yeah.
But at the time, she was here with the Eye.
Okay.
Yeah. Which movie were you in?
It's on Netflix. It's Trigger Warning.
Trigger Warning.
Yeah, I'm just background, but
Trigger Warning. Okay. Very cool.
I was also a featured in Robots with.
Yes.
Do you see that one?
Yes.
Jack Whitehall and Shailene Woodley.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was standing right next to Jack Whitehall playing
Oh,
my mariachi
very
group.
cool.
Yeah, that was fun. That was really
Huh.
fun. They were cool people.
That is very cool. I'll have to go and look for you again.
Yeah.
I did see that.
Cool.
So I got here, and then I had a friend who I grew up with in Santa Fe, a fellow performer, and she had just been in a big movie,
Who is she?
Aviva. At the time, her last name was Farber,
Okay. Don't know her.
but she went to Santa Fe High,
Oh,
and she
okay.
was a dancer as well.
Okay.
And she was McLovin's love interest in the movie Superbad. Do you
Shut the
remember her?
heck up. Are you
Yeah,
serious? That
yeah,
was wild.
yeah. She played. I forgot her name.
I know exactly who you're talking
Yeah,
about. I
yeah,
can
yeah.
picture her
Redhead.
face. That's wild. Yeah.
Anyway, shout out to Aviva. Anyway,
Wow.
so I talked to her, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's doing film. Like,
From
that's
Santa Fe.
from Santa Fe.
Listen, man, when I first thought of having you come on here, I was like, nobody from Santa Fe makes it this big, like at all. To the fact that I saw you in a speaking role out of the blue on a TV show, I was like, nobody makes it this big. I gotta have this guy on here and talk about this. And now you're telling me that there's somebody else from Santa Fe
Yeah,
who made it big.
yeah,
That's so interesting.
yeah. It's very cool. To see a friend doing exactly what we want it to do
That's so cool.
as performers. So I sort of had picked her brain a little bit and was like, well, you know what? Maybe film is something I might be. Well, before I even talked to her, actually, I started navigating into the film world here.
Okay.
And I did extra work. I did stand-in work. I did
Cool.
other things. Started training in stunts.
No kidding.
Yeah,
How was that?
awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah,
That's cool.
got stunt work. As a dancer, trained dancer, I kind of naturally fell into it.
That's cool.
And then finally, got an agent here locally and started auditioning for local movies and projects and started booking stuff.
Awesome.
And then I got the film bug. So I decided, wow, maybe film is what I want to do. And it pays a lot better than theater. So I had this idea, okay, maybe LA. Maybe that's time to, maybe LA is what I want to do.
Sure.
So, but I was so busy working here, LA was in the back of my mind, but I talked to my friend Aviva, and I said, should I maybe stick around New Mexico and experience film, industry or whatever, and then go to LA? Like, what is your experience? And, she helped me decide that like maybe I should stay in New Mexico, get more experience, and, try to get into the union, the actors union, SAG-AFTRA. Well, at the
You
time,
are SAG-AFTRA now, right?
yeah. Oh yeah. Been for a long time now.
Very cool.
At the time it was SAG and AFTRA. There were different unions.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They have since joined. But so I decided to stick around New Mexico, gain experience, more experience, and I was real busy. I mean, I was busy. I was booking lots of stuff
That's great.
here and doing independent projects, and the film industry was really hot and great. And then all of a sudden, Susana Martinez and the Republicans cut the film incentives, and there was zero work.
That made me so freaking mad. We had gained so much ground and there were so many people coming here and I was like, this is so cool. And then all of a sudden she's like, nope. It seemed like anything that Bill Richardson had done, she was like dead set against and wanted to kill it.
Yep.
Which drove me nuts.
Yep. What a mistake that was.
Yeah.
However, that led me to prompted me to leave to Los Angeles because there was no work here.
Cool.
So it was sort of the impetus I needed to leave and try something different. So I lived in Los Angeles for like 10 years,
What part?
North Hollywood.
I love LA.
Yeah.
I love it there.
Yeah. So I moved into LA and, started working more. Started booking more TV shows, commercials, films.
Is that where the majority of your film role comes from?
I would say so.
Okay.
Yeah. Most of my work has been in LA and it still often is.
It's interesting. You have one of those faces that you could fit any part. Like you could be in anything. You're that lovable, talkable guy. You're the what? I'm sorry. What were you on the show I watched? I can never remember the word. You worked in the morgue.
I was a pathologist.
Pathologist. There you go.
Was I a pathologist? Jerry the
I think
pathologist. Yeah,
so.
I was a pathologist. Jerry the pathologist.
But
Yeah,
like
that
that's
sounds right.
you have a very universal face, and that's not to be an insult. That's a
Common.
compliment.
He's saying I have a common face.
No.
No, that's great. No, I love that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
So what kind of were you going out for auditions in LA too, and they were just casting you based on looks, or did your talent play into that at all?
oh, for sure. Definitely being a performer who had a lot of different skills, like an actor, dancer, singer,
Stunts.
stunts, definitely helped having a variety of skill sets helped me get a lot of different jobs.
That's
So
great.
that is very helpful. But yeah, I mean, unfortunately or fortunately, I don't know. I guess it depends if you're the receiver on the receiving end of the good side of it is that, it's probably like 75% what your look is, 25% talent.
That's where I failed.
you know,
Talented as hell, but look at me.
Hey, no, look, everybody has you have a great look.
I appreciate the compliment, but no.
No, I mean,
I would, I
that's,
would listen. I would love to get into film more, like, and actually get a speaking role or something like that. But there's a couple things. I'm pretty far along in life. I know I'm not much older than you, but I have an actual career, and I can't. It's very nerve wracking to think of putting the career that
sure.
actually gives me a guaranteed paycheck on hold to go after this thing that I want to do.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a whole thing. I would
Yeah.
love it, but I don't think I have the balls for
Yeah.
it.
It's tough, man. But the cool thing about acting is that there's always a role for every age group demographic, right? Like you age into your new role. So, where I was playing high school students, then I was playing college students
Bro,
now.
you could still play a high school student.
I don't know about high school.
You
Maybe in
could.
the 90s,
Just a
I could
clean
have.
shave and you can totally pull it off.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Maybe college. Maybe college still I can if I shave. But so I'm starting to play young dads now, which is really weird.
Wow, that
Because
is weird.
because two people that I graduated with, that you probably graduated with too, maybe, are grandparents. I can't even fathom being a parent, much less a grandparent. So
I've got you one up. One girl from my class is a great grandparent.
how does that even?
Dude, and
The math doesn't math.
I'm older than her. I'm 1 year older than her, and she's a great grandparent.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
isn't that wild?
Wild.
That's
I
like
just
every 15 years,
Yeah. On the
like
dot.
clockwork.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
That is nuts. So yeah, it just blows my mind that I'm even playing a dad. You know what I mean?
I have no
So
intention of being a dad in the real world, so I think that would be a
yeah,
very interesting experience to do it in film.
yeah, yeah, and so yeah, that's a great thing about film, right? So you
Pretend.
always can. There's always someone who wants your look, your age. It's that's the good thing. It
Well,
doesn't mean work's always plentiful, but it means that
sure.
there is work for everyone a little bit along the
Well,
way.
one of these days, if I end up on a movie, I'll be happy and I'll retire.
There you go. You're like bucket list check.
Done. SAG-AFTRA acquired.
Accomplished, right?
Done.
Get that card. Get that card. Yeah. So, um,
I'm sorry, I totally threw us off. You're in LA for
LA.
10
Yeah,
years.
10 years. The reason I came back was, well, so being in LA, I still was plugged into the film market here. So eventually, the the politicians in New Mexico said, well, that was really stupid cutting those incentives.
Right, let's bring that back.
Let's bring that back. So then there started being more work here, and I would often audition. I had an agent here still,
Cool.
and I would often audition and come back for work.
Oh, cool.
So I was very plugged into the New Mexico market too.
Nice.
And while living in Los Angeles, what eventually brought me back was I had taken a little bit of a break from film. I don't want to say I took a break, but I took a job doing theater.
Oh, cool.
So I did a regional production, The Full Monty,
Cool.
in Reno for a summer.
Wow.
And then after that, I was going to go back to Los Angeles, and I had given up the place that I lived. So I was going to have to go to LA, look for a place, and it just seemed like a lot of work. So I decided to go back to New Mexico for a little bit, to spend some time at home. And
Did you go back to Santa Fe or you just settled in
Albuquerque.
Albuquerque?
And so then COVID happened. And
Oh,
I stayed in New Mexico. I didn't go back to LA. But while I was out here, right before I got a job, was getting jobs and working here in the film industry.
awesome.
So COVID happened, and then that changed everything. Everything changed in my industry. You basically don't need to be in LA anymore.
No, yeah, no kidding. We have what, like 5 studios now?
Well, not just the production that's here, but just in terms of how auditions work now.
Oh,
Everything's on tape. You can live in the middle of nowhere,
no kidding.
and every audition's on tape now.
No
I
kidding.
haven't been in an audition room. Well, let's see. I went into my first audition room recently in Los Angeles last month, and that was the first time in years.
Wow.
Everything's on tape.
Wow, you're gonna have to walk me through that. We're gonna have a little private
Yeah.
conversation about that in case I actually do want to try it
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. So there was no reason to go back to LA. I mean, in terms of the industry being based in LA, sure, you can make connections, whatever. But I'm still plugged in, and I still go back there for work. So I'm in LA quite a bit,
That's
and
awesome. I'm not jealous. You're jealous.
yeah, man, it changed everything. My eventual goal is to live in the mountains in New
No
Mexico or
kidding.
Colorado, and just come down from the mountain for work. You know what I mean? Like that's my ultimate
Seriously.
goal. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I
Interesting.
just want to be in the mountains, just like chilling, avoiding the hot summer months, and yeah, that's the goal.
Okay.
So yeah, I made New Mexico home base, and I love it. I was able to buy a place here, and I was never going to afford to buy a place in Los Angeles.
Oh, so you actually own a home here now?
Own a home here now, and
Great.
this is home base, and I travel now. I go to LA a lot. I film here.
That's great.
Phoenix, Texas has film work.
Good.
I go to Atlanta a lot. Filmed a lot in
That's
Atlanta.
cool.
So this is home base.
How do
And
how do you feel about Albuquerque living here? Do you like? I don't know. You have these people who subscribe to the whole Breaking Bad model, and well, first of all, most places don't even realize New Mexico's a state.
right.
Does that still happen to you?
Oh yeah.
Happens all the time.
Or what's
Every time
even
we travel.
more even more common is they confuse it with Arizona. I will tell them
Really?
I don't know why this happens. I'll be like, yeah, I'm from New Mexico. 10 minutes later, so what's it like living in Arizona? This happens like 90% of the time.
That's wild.
Yeah.
What I get most of the time is, "Oh, you're from New Mexico. Oh my God, what's it like? Why do you speak English so good?
Yeah.
Do you deal with cartels?"
Yeah.
No, because we're part of the states, so it's a whole thing.
You know what's really sad? That usually mostly happens with Americans.
Yes,
You
exactly.
you talk to people, I've traveled abroad.
In Greece,
They know New
nobody.
Mexico is
They
a
were like,
state.
"Oh, New Mexico, that's cool. That's where XYZ is." Oh, Breaking Bad. And I'm like,
Yes.
"Yes, interesting."
Yes. Absolutely. They
How
know.
does America not know this?
That's just going back to that topic of education, right?
100%.
Yeah. So,
That's really cool.
yeah, I like Albuquerque. Like I said, I've lived in lots of places. I've lived in the Northeast. I've lived on West Coast, Vegas. I've traveled the world. Every place has its problems. Every place has its
100%.
issues,
100%.
and every place has its the gems and the things that are really great about a city. I think Albuquerque is a great place for me.
Albuquerque is great. I love Albuquerque.
I love the size of it. I love
Yes.
not having to move my car every Tuesday, so the street
LA.
cleaner doesn't ticket me or tow me.
Yep.
I love the cost of living. I love that it takes 15
Yes.
minutes to get everywhere.
100%.
The weather's great. Okay, it's getting a little too hot for me in the summers now.
I love the hot, so I'm not with you on that, but
It's bearable. It's not Phoenix
right.
yet, although
Yeah.
it's
Oh, it's getting
starting to
there.
feel like
Yeah,
it.
it sure is. That's
So
wild. I just, it's, do you still like get that though? The Breaking Bad thing. Do people, associate where you live with the Breaking
oh,
Bad,
for
and then
sure.
talk about like I love all of these lists that are like the most dangerous place in the world, Albuquerque, and I'm like Albuquerque, like I live there. It's not dangerous.
Yeah,
Like maybe, and I feel like it's because per capita, we
that's
have
right.
a higher
That's right.
rate of crime, but it's because there's less people here.
Exactly.
If you take those same statistics and move it to a place like New York, there basically crime doesn't exist.
That's right.
So it's not that it's dangerous and everybody's going to get robbed. Although the news stories, the poor people who are traveling through the state and get their their truck and their trailer stolen on the way, that does happen, but it's
Yeah.
not frequent. Let's
No.
not call it. Let's call it what it is. And it's just it. I don't think it's any worse than any other place.
No. Absolutely not. No. And I live in the heart of downtown, like the heart of downtown.
Oh
And
wow,
people are always talking about downtown being dangerous or whatever. No,
it's
I've
not.
never not felt safe in my neighborhood.
Do you live near the zoo area?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh,
We're
that's
just
a
a couple
great.
blocks from the
God,
zoo.
it's beautiful there.
Yeah.
I love that. That's just driving through that neighborhood. It feels very LA, and I love it. It's green trees and green grass and
Yep.
just beautiful houses.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I really like Albuquerque. There's, I have the city. I live right in the city, in the heart of downtown. There's coffee shops, restaurants, bars,
Oh, absolutely.
entertainment,
All within walking
all within
distance.
walking distance. And the other direction is the Bosque for running and
Sure.
outdoor. There's Tingley Beach. I mean, it's
Yes.
incredible. I love driving down Tingley.
100%.
It's
You've
it's
got
it's great.
museums. You have everything
Hmm.
within a couple block radius of
Yeah.
you. That's a great
Yeah,
place.
it's great, and other parts of the city too are great. I really love being here. It's where I'm from. I love the food. I love the mountains, the outdoor activities,
And now your work has followed you.
and my work's followed me.
That's great.
The work's here. Yeah, there's a lot, and it's a small community. The really cool thing about Albuquerque too, not just the film industry, but just in terms of the entrepreneurial spirit
Sure.
that the city brings, is that it also attracts people who want to help like-minded people. So maybe you've experienced this too. You seem to be quite a bit of an entrepreneur yourself. Is that there's programs, there's funding, there's trainings, there's a lot of resources here in Albuquerque for lots of different things because people are really hungry to build up the city, and so there's lots of opportunity to just do really cool things here.
That's amazing. I had no clue. I do everything
Yeah,
on my own, so I don't know.
there
I
are.
just
I guarantee you, if you're interested in something, there's someone who wants to throw some money at you, or there's like some sort of program for
Oh,
it.
well, let's go find those people because I could use some real cameras.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, even through our public access station, 519 Studios, they make their studios available for free. All their cameras
No
for free.
kidding.
All their equipment for free.
Holy
I
cow.
mean, it's just so cool.
Let's hope it stays that way because I don't like the trend that's happening with media right
Oh,
now.
I know.
It's fucking depressing and I
Oh, I
hate
know.
it so much.
It is. A lot is depressing right now, man.
I don't like to talk politics because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know,
yeah. I feel that.
people have their opinions, but
Yeah.
I don't understand how anybody could think anything that's happening now is okay.
No, I
Very
don't.
sad.
It's
Very, very sad.
yeah.
So tell me about how you are maybe using or keeping your history stuff on the back burner. What does that look like for you nowadays?
These days, it mostly looks like my bookshelf. Just all the books that I'm reading. Um,
So just a passion nowadays. You don't actively seek something to do with it. You're just learning.
Basically learning,
That's great.
but always in the back of my head, well, I would say it's learning, but it also informs a lot of what I do in terms of understanding projects
Okay.
or how it influences the storytelling that I do in my own work.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Like, you're applying your knowledge of history to your current
Yeah,
work.
absolutely. And it can definitely, bleed into acting roles. Just like right now, I'm auditioning for a project that takes place in like the Bronze Age, probably,
Nice.
or even just with Dark Winds. It takes place in the 70s, right?
Yeah.
So understanding the cultural,
Nuances.
markers and stuff like that. But also, I have this idea for things that I want to create, and a lot of it is history based because based. Eventually, I do want to do more writing, and maybe creating my own projects. And New Mexico is actually a inspiration and source for a lot of the ideas I have. There are some really cool stories from New Mexico
Hundred
history to
percent.
tell.
100%. I learned recently of a black farmer who was responsible for. God, my memory is so fucked up. I don't know, something significant. But he's
Blackdom.
Blackton.
It was a black community that was started in
No,
southern
no,
New
no.
Mexico.
This was a one single farmer who something with cow. God, I can't remember. I just saw it the other day in passing. To be fair, to my credit,
Yeah.
I didn't forget because I watched this whole documentary and forgot about it. It was I just saw a little clip, but yeah, there's some black farmer in the 1800s who's responsible for something significant in New Mexico, and I was like, that is so fucking cool. Like, why doesn't everybody know about this? You know what I mean?
Huh.
Like, there's so much to learn about our state, and it's awesome.
That had specifically to do with farming.
I think it was something to do with cattle, and
Oh,
I
okay.
can't remember what it
Okay.
led to in the long run. Maybe an invention of something. I'm so bad. I'm sorry. I shouldn't even have brought that up.
No, no worries. I'll look
But
that up later.
it is significant.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Also look up Blackdom.
Blackdom.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a really interesting story about a
Well,
community in southern New Mexico.
listen, man, if you ever need assistance or would like to collaborate, I'm 100% all on board for
Awesome.
something like that. Like whether it be acting or technical stuff or whatever. If you even if you just need to use some equipment or something, I got you.
Awesome. I love that. See, I love that about New Mexico. Like everyone's so willing to help out, and the community's so great here. That's what I really love. I worked on a lot of projects in LA, independent student films, whatever. Stuff I've worked on in New Mexico with people here was so much better, higher quality, just
No
better
kidding.
overall. I love that. I love
Is
that
that
about New
because of
Mexico.
selfishness or maybe like I worked hard for my stuff, so you got to do it too, or
I don't know. I think it's just
sense of community maybe?
sense of community. Yeah,
Cool. I
it's
love
a
it.
small community. So
Now, future plans for travel. Where do you want to go? Because I highly recommend you go to Egypt if,
oh,
because of the history.
Egypt is definitely
It was
on the
incredible.
list.
It
I've
was
never been.
it was incredible. We were there for 12 days, did pretty much the whole country top to bottom and just there's still stuff that I'd like to go back for because it's just being in the presence of things that were created so long ago, just thinking there was people at that time walking through. You can see these mummies from that time period, and you can see their skin, you can see their hair. It's
Yeah,
absolutely wild.
yeah. I'm obsessed with that stuff, as you know, because at the top of my list right now is Egypt's up there.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to pick your brain because I hear it can be kind of sketchy. Things that I've read.
So okay, so to be fair, we didn't. My wife didn't completely plan the trip herself. She worked with a travel planner or whatever, and
So I hear you have
Sophia.
to do.
So Sophia, she's actually going to be on this season of the podcast. So we talked a little bit about it, and she's really really good. So I highly recommend you go with her
Yeah.
or maybe one of her coworkers. She has a business called Storied Travel, and what she does is she travels to these places ahead of time, makes trusted links with people so that when you want to take that trip there, she's already got people that she knows, she's
Hmm.
worked with, and they have good reputations. Now, what I will say about Egypt is you see a lot of military presence, a lot of police presence everywhere. Like
Hmm.
every 20 minutes going down these highways and whatnot in Egypt and all over the city, you see that. Well, it sounds like a threatening thing, but what it really is you stop at these checkpoints and they say, okay, who's in the vehicle? And the driver will say, well, we have two Egyptians, two Americans, and we're going to Abu Simbel. They say, okay, and then they let you go on your way. They know how long it takes between their checkpoint and the next checkpoint. If you don't make it within a reasonable time frame of that time that they're giving you, they're going to send a search party and go look for you because they know something happened.
Mm.
So it's really tourism is Egypt's number one economy. They don't have anything else. Like, don't get me wrong, their food is amazing. The fruits and vegetables, produce is all grown right there on the Nile, and you couldn't get any fresher. It's
Mm.
amazing. But tourism is their number one economy, so they're going to protect that with all of their resources, and they
Mm.
do. They do a really good job. Now, I will say there's a little discomfort in the society, but that's not our society. That's the Muslim culture, the religion. They how it's sort of oppressive to women, and I don't know. I don't want to say glorify men, but men are the everything. Women are just
Hmm.
the lesser. Um,
Hmm.
and that still exists. So it's a little uncomfortable.
Right.
But
That form of religious belief, right?
well, I mean, it's not even the religious belief because the
And
religion is
culture.
basically the same thing as every other religion. They're all the same. They all
Yeah.
have the same
Right.
roots.
Right.
It's
Because
just
yeah, I'd hate to paint all
no, because
Islam as that because a lot of it
yes,
is not, but for sure,
but it's just the culture, like the way they live,
yeah,
and
the government.
yeah, there's so there's stuff, but it was not uncomfortable to the point that I was like, I need to leave. But after 2 weeks, I was like, okay, that was fucking amazing, but I want to go home now.
Yeah,
Like,
sure.
so it's just that slight discomfort that you live with being there, and it's just a little bit of inequality, which to each their own. That's the way they're used to living. I'm not going to judge them on it. That's their prerogative. It just wasn't for me. But
Right.
would
Yeah.
I go back? 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. In fact, those socioeconomic issues. that they have is what I've read a lot about in terms of like getting people scamming tourists or really
So okay,
harping on them to give money or buy things, or
yes,
it can be a
okay, so
little
that
aggressive.
that absolutely is a thing. But here's the thing about it: you can choose to look at it with a negative outlook and be like they're trying to rob me, or you can maybe take a step back and look at it from a positive outlook, giving the benefit of the doubt. These people want to work for your money. They don't want to take your money from you. They want to give you something in exchange. Now, 9 times out of 10, that's China knockoff stuff. But they honestly want to earn your money. They don't want to take it from you. So like if you just that's not completely true. There was a couple places we stopped like for a rest stop while we were driving at like a sort of like a gas station, and we went into the restroom to use the restroom. There was a guy or a lady standing out front, like, "Hey, pay me to go into the restroom." Didn't pay her because I was with my guide. He's like, "No, no, don't give her anything." So we went in the restroom, did our business. There was a guy standing in there holding paper towels, but there was paper towels sitting on the counter. And he's like, "Here, here," and trying to hand you his, and then asking for money. So he was a little bit working. She was not. She was just like, "Hey, give me
Yeah,
money."
yeah,
So there is those people, but I would say 90% of the people, yes, they're very aggressive and they want you to buy their stuff, and it's not the greatest stuff, but also, that's how they survive.
yeah,
That's how they make their money, and they're not trying to rob you. They don't have a knife and they're like, "Give me some
yeah.
money." So there is that. Now there is a couple scams at the pyramids that are very very aggressive and forceful, where they're trying to get you to ride camels
Mm,
or whatever, and they take you on these short little rides on places you could just walk to yourself to get you know good shots of the pyramid and whatnot. So there's things like that you got to watch out for. And my wife and I are vegetarian for the ethics of it only. We just don't want to cause harm or be part of harming animals. To each their own. I get every society is raised on meat. I grew up eating meat myself, so I wouldn't ever judge anybody on it. But that was a choice that we made. Well, in Egypt, there's so much mistreatment of animals,
mm,
specifically like that, the camels that they want you to ride. They're not. The ones around the pyramids were okay, but we went to damn, I can't remember the other site now. There was one of the temples that we went to where, man, there was horses that could barely stand up. They
mm,
were so skinny and emaciated, and they weren't giving them
mm,
water, and they were just forcing them to work all day in this
yeah,
stupid heat. And so stuff like that was not okay. But I would say 90% of the country is they're animal friendly. They take care of theirs, and like I said, they're trying to work for your money at least. They're not trying to rob you. I never felt in danger of being robbed.
yeah.
So
Good.
those
Okay.
are some things I would just keep in mind.
Sure.
But if you are interested actually in doing that in the near future, I'll give you Sophia's information,
Okay.
and she's a great resource.
Yeah, I definitely want to. I mean, yeah, Egypt's on the list of places that I want to go to, man. As being a history nerd, right? Like this was me 3 days ago.
Is that Stonehenge?
At Stonehenge, man.
No
I was
shit.
at Stonehenge 3 or 4 days ago. Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. How did that work?
Oh man,
Did you just get back?
I just got back yesterday. Yeah.
No
Or
kidding.
I guess
How
yeah.
long were you over there?
I was just there
That's
for a few days.
that's Scotland, right?
England.
England.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or Great Britain. I was there for 3 days. Last
What all
week.
did you do there?
I met up a
Obviously.
friend. I wanted to see a friend, so I went and we did that. We did London. He gave me a really he works at Parliament, so I got a private tour of
Damn.
English or British Parliament, which was amazing.
Wow.
So I got to go to the Palace of Windsor, see the House of Commons, House of Lords. I didn't get to take any pictures, unfortunately. They won't allow you.
Well, that's
And
fair. Like just to
yeah,
experience it, I think is amazing enough. That's bragging
yeah.
rights.
I
So
mean, our democracy is based on their form of government. So,
was let was.
well, yeah, was, but it was pretty cool, man. I got to see like the innards and the places that the public doesn't get to go to. I
God,
got
that's
to see
cool.
some really cool stuff within the palace, and
Man, I need your connections.
rub elbows with the politicians. The Speaker of the House was just like having lunch right there in the dining
Damn, that's
hall, and
cool.
got to go on the terrace, and
So
it was
you've
cool.
been to Japan and England. What other world travels have you done?
Oh my gosh. Um, In Europe, I've done, let's see, England, Spain, Italy, Croatia, Greece.
Oh, you've been to all the places I've been to. That's amazing.
Yeah, those are the places.
Did you go to Dubrovnik,
Dubrovnik,
Croatia? Right on
yeah,
the coast.
Dubrovnik.
That's where they filmed Game of Thrones?
Yes, the castles, the
Yeah.
big walled cities.
Yes.
Yes, freaking amazing.
Yeah, we did a kayaking tour there.
Yeah,
It was incredible.
yeah,
Just amazing. The water was beautiful,
beautiful.
the temperature was perfect, the walls of the city were just incredible.
Yeah.
So,
Did you come across the basketball court there?
no.
There's this really cool like basketball court, and you're like, this is so weird because it's in this like walled city.
Yeah.
This it looks like an ancient basketball court. It's really cool.
That's nuts. So this last trip to Greece was primarily for that Virgin cruise, and it was Santorini, then Bodrum, Turkey, which we left Bodrum and went to Ephesus, the ancient city of Ephesians, and then we went to uh, what's the other, Mykonos, and then up the coast to Dubrovnik, then down to Kotor, Montenegro, and then Corfu, Turkey, or Corfu, Greece, and then we spent 3 days at the end in Athens doing all of
Nice,
the ancient stuff.
nice.
It was too cool, man.
It's so cool.
We stayed at a hotel right near the square, Monsteraki Square in Greece, in Athens, and we had the perfect view of the whole Acropolis and Agora. Like
So
both of
cool.
them were just right there. It was amazing.
Yeah, that is amazing, man. Yeah, all of that. I love it. I love the history.
Yeah.
Just yeah. In fact, the next place that I want to go to is actually in Turkey or Turkey, as they call it now,
Turkey,
right? Turkey.
yes. Yes.
It's the oldest site of human. Or
Hold on. I know what you're talking about.
yep,
It's very much like a Stonehenge sort of thing
yes,
that's been dug out of a
yep,
hill over the last
yep,
20 years or
yep.
whatever.
And it's insanely old. Insanely old.
Gobekli Tepe.
Göbekli Tepe. That's correct.
Yeah.
That's my
I want to go there
top
too.
place to visit right now.
That's cool.
And that I thought I was going to be able to do that this year. I don't know if I'll have a chance, but that's like the number one thing I want to do. Let's go to Göbekli Tepe and see
Yeah, buddy.
the archaeological dig of the oldest site of human. I guess you'd call it human permanent structures.
Yeah.
It's the oldest site of human. It's like insanely old.
So cool. I've watched a lot
Yeah,
about that.
yeah,
That's insane.
yeah.
Now, quick sidebar, do you travel when you travel, do you travel business class?
Sometimes,
Good.
if I'm lucky,
Do
but
it as much as you can.
as an upgrade,
Hey
I will
man,
try.
however you get there, just do
It's
it.
so comfortable if you can.
I think it makes a big difference on, especially when you're limited to your time
Yeah,
over there. You don't want to waste a whole day sleeping when you get there. So you sleep on the plane, and I
yeah.
sleep freaking comfortably. I cannot sleep as a plane nerd. I couldn't sleep to begin with. Prior to being a plane nerd, I was a nervous flyer, so I couldn't sleep then. But when I discovered business class, I was like, oh yeah, this is another world. So
Totally.
we intentionally set money aside to make sure that we travel in business class just so we have that extra rest before arriving.
Yeah. It's great if it can happen. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So I want to see that. I was actually supposed to be in Machu Picchu this week.
Damn.
That's another site that I've been wanting to visit, and that's
Yeah,
at the top of my
absolutely.
list. I'm glad I didn't go because I was kind of exhausted after England,
Sure.
and I was going to literally go back to back.
Damn.
And I just needed some time to recuperate,
Oh, well, absolutely.
and I'm glad I did because I was supposed to go on Monday, which was what, yesterday,
Yeah.
and turns out that their workers in the town that services Machu Picchu are on strike, and it's left thousands of Machu Picchu visitors stranded.
Oh, shit.
So I'm glad I didn't go this week.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm glad that worked out. But I'm probably going to do that, rebook that in a couple of weeks.
Cool. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I definitely want updates on all this.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. I'll live vicariously through you until I can actually make it out myself.
Yeah. Yeah. You'll
So
have to.
you've been incredibly generous with your time, and I'm going to bring this to a close. But
Sure.
before I do, just tell me about what your next 5-year plan looks like. What are your goals and ambitions for the next 5 years?
Gosh, the next 5 years, it's hard in this industry because you never know. You were talking about instability and how that kind of freaks you out. Yeah. I don't know how, by the grace of the universe, God, whoever, I've been able to do this career for this long. It's all I know at this point. I hope to, in the next 5 years, to be able to continue to do it. There's going to be a lot of changes in the industry in the next few years because of AI. I
Oh
think
God,
everybody's
I hate
trying to
that.
navigate that.
I hate that so much.
Man, I don't know. There's no, not necessarily a plan. There's just, well, things that I would like to do in the next 5 years is, of course, continue to work, continue to read for bigger, better roles, and I'm seeing that progress in my career. I'm getting, a lot more auditions for series regulars and
Great.
leads on movies and TV shows. I'd like to be able to become a series regular on something. That's a goal. I'd
Absolutely.
like to finally finish the screenplay that I'm writing and maybe get that written. And it's takes place in New Mexico.
Awesome.
It's a little bit of a New Mexico story. Also based on my family. You write what you know.
Oh, 100%.
So I'd like to finally get that finished and yeah, travel some more. I love traveling. Want
Yeah,
to
buddy.
get these places that are at the top of my list checked off. And also try to save this country. Do my part to get this country back on track, however I can do that, whether it's just
Sure.
in my community
Sure.
or whatever.
Well, I'm with you on that.
So those are the things I'd like to do. Nothing's on paper. There's no plan necessarily,
That's great.
but there's things that I'd like to do.
Well, I'm super envious. You're very ambitious, and I love it.
So are you, man? Doing all this work that you do, and
I like to talk to people, man, and I love to
great.
hear stories, and this is my way of getting these stories out to the community. I started this because I was listening to like Armchair Expert and Justin Long had a podcast for a little while that I was listening to, and I was like, this is really cool. I love learning about these celebrities' backgrounds and how they got into the industry and things that they've been through. And I was thinking, like I have so many friends who either are not with us anymore or so many friends who have just the most crazy experiences, and everybody wants to hear stories like that. Who doesn't like a good crazy story? And I was like, man, there's no platform for just your everyday person to get on there and just spit out all that story vomit and let everybody hear all this crazy stuff that happens growing up in New Mexico.
Yeah.
So that's what became this.
Yeah, I love that because the whole concept of this project is talking to the average person, because often the only voices you hear are those of famous people or those who are
Exactly.
or wealthy or rich, and you talk to the average person, and that's what really inspires me too as a creator, is hearing people's stories. Being interested in history, being interested
Yes,
in
exactly.
telling stories. Everybody has a story, and it's just really incredible when you hear these stories of average people, and it's stranger than fiction, right? I mean, it's they're stories that are unbelievable, but are true,
100%. And vastly different too. Even the same experience growing up in the same city, it could be a block away from each other, and you just have a vastly different experience. And it's, I don't know, I think it's really cool, and it's interesting to listen to all these differences but similarities and get that out to the world. So
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Well, this has been a blast. Thank you again
Great.
so much for coming and doing this. And yeah, I will look forward to an update in the future. And yeah, again, if you want to collaborate or anything, I'm all for it.
Awesome. Glad to
So,
know that.
well, thank you again, and
Yeah.
thank you all for coming back and watching another episode. We will see you next week for another one, and take care. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye bye. Cool.
Awesome, man.
That really was fun.
That was fun.
That you were the first person I've had on here that I absolutely knew nothing about other than passing in the halls. So this is a really cool experience.
This really was. Yeah. And by the way, I do love dogs. Dogs don't love me.
It's just allergic. No,
yeah.
you're not the first person. So it's
pretty allergic.
wife and I don't we don't have kids. We have dogs. So.
Yeah. Yeah. It's actually this whole thing. As I'm getting older, I'm becoming more and more allergic to things. It's so weird.
No kidding.
Yeah.